Good afternoon and welcome to St Martin in the Fields, and welcome to this week's Great Sacred Music, which is on the theme of love, anticipating Valentine's Day next Tuesday. St Valentine was a 3rd century Roman saint, and as well as being the saint of courtly love, he was also the saint of epilepsy and also the saint of beekeepers, would you believe? Our opening piece was a setting of Ubi Caritas et Amor, where love and charity are, God is, by the 20th century French composer Maurice Duruflé, part of his Quatre motets sur les thèmes grégoriens, 4 motets on Gregorian themes, which he composed in 1960. The chant lines are combined at a polyphonic setting, as you heard, with the chant present in one or more voices throughout the piece. Each of the a cappella motets in the set a Latin text for a different occasion, and this one was an antiphon from Maundy Thursday. It's our tradition at Great Sacred Music to begin by singing a hymn together, which you'll find on the inside of your sheet, The King of Love, My Shepherd Is. This is a hymn written by Henry Williams Baker on the theme of the Good Shepherd, contemplating the unconditional love and care that God gives us. It appeared in the hymnal Hymns Ancient and Modern in 1868. The words are mainly based on Psalm 23, but there are additional connections drawn from other images in the New Testament. Baker was born in London in 1821 and graduated from Trinity College, Cambridge. He became vicar of Monkland in Hertfordshire in 1851, which he held until his death. So we remain seated as the voices stand and lead The King of Love, My Shepherd Is. Born in 1914, William Lloyd Webber was a renowned English organist and composer of instrumental, choral, orchestral and chamber music. He won a scholarship to the Royal College of Music in his teenage years, where he studied composition with Ralph Vaughan Williams. Because there was already another student at the college by the name of William Webber, he continued to use his second middle name, Lloyd, from then on as part of his last name. In fact, he actually became a professor at the Royal College of Music later in his life. He's perhaps best known for his two famous sons, composer Andrew Lloyd Webber and the cellist Julian Lloyd Webber. William was by nature a shy and withdrawn character who wasted as few words in conversation as he did notes in his music. Why, he would ask his pupils, write 6 pages when 6 bars will do? Having made his name as a composer in the 1930s, 40s and 50s, he became increasingly convinced that his own romantic style was out of step with the prevailing composition climate at the time. The piece we're about to hear, Love Divine or Love's Excelling, is his interpretation of Wesley's well-known hymn, which actually we're singing at the end of Great Sacred Music today. He composed it as the last part of his cantata, The Good Samaritan, in 1964. And it was one of the last pieces that Lloyd Webber wrote before he stopped composing for around about 20 years and only restarted again shortly before his death. So Love Divine from The Good Samaritan by William Lloyd Webber. Patrick Hadley was an English composer born in Cambridge. His school education in Sussex was interrupted by the First World War. He was enlisted in the army and commissioned as a second lieutenant in the Royal Field Artillery. He managed to survive unscathed until the last weeks of the war, when he received an injury necessitating the below-knee amputation of his right leg. After the war, Hadley went to Pembroke College, Cambridge, where his father was master, and he studied with composer Charles Wood. Much of his music is not performed today, although My Beloved Spake, which was published in 1938, has found a place in the church music repertoire. It was written for the wedding of one of his RCM students in 1936, and is an evocative setting of words from that great love poem of the Old Testament, the Song of Songs. It's been written about this piece that the passage of text chosen by Hadley, the opening exhortation, "Rise up, my love, and come away," repeated at the end, "Arise, my love, and come away." And Hadley's setting duly has this ABA structure reflecting that of the text, with hushed middle section between opening and closing passages of great majesty and power. And then after that, we move to Canada for Eleanor Daley's setting of Upon Your Heart. She's a Canadian composer of choral and church music. Among her best-known works are her Requiem, which we've performed here in Great Sacred Music. She was born in Ontario in 1955 and lived in Toronto for most of her life. Upon Your Heart was written in 1999 and commissioned by Dr. Thomas Porter and dedicated to his wife for their 45th wedding anniversary. Like the Hadley piece, it's also a setting from the Song of Songs, including as well some text from the Gospel of John. So Patrick Hadley, My Beloved Spake, followed by Eleanor Daley, Upon Your Heart. Love Divine or Love's Excelling, which we heard in a choral version just earlier, and now we're going to sing together as a hymn, was written by Charles Wesley, the younger brother of Methodist founder John Wesley, and one of the most prolific hymn writers of all time. He's said to have written, would you believe it, at least 6,500 hymns in his lifetime. His hymns are marked by their strong doctrinal content, a richness of scriptural and literary allusion, and the variety of his metrical and stanza forms. They're considered to have a significant influence not only on Methodism, but on Christian worship and modern theology as a whole. Despite their closeness, Charles Wesley and John Wesley didn't always agree on questions relating to his beliefs. In particular, Charles Wesley, who wrote this hymn, was much more strongly aligned with the Church of England, into which he'd been ordained. On his deathbed, he sent for the rector of St Marylebone Parish Church and purportedly told him, "Sir, whatever the world may say of me, I have lived and I die a member of the Church of England. I pray you bury me in your churchyard." A memorial stone to him stands in the gardens on Marylebone High Street, close to his place of burial. Like many hymns, Love Divine's in 3 verses and is loosely Trinitarian. Christ is invoked in the first verse as the expression of divine love, the Holy Spirit in the second verse as the agent of sanctification, and the Father in the third verse as the source of life, and the Trinity, presumably in the final verse, which we're not going to sing today, as the creator of the new creation. So we'll remain seated as the voices stand and lead Love Divine or Love's Excelling. Thank you very much for joining us for Great Sacred Music today. On your way out, there'll be an opportunity to donate to a retiring collection, which helps us as we build and continue to grow the music programme here at St Martin's. As well as cash, there's other ways to give. You can tap your card on the box at the back, or on the back of your sheet, you'll find other ways of giving online or through text message. Do join us for Great Sacred Music next week. Great Sacred Music continues every Thursday at 1 o'clock. And if you can't be in London every week, you can catch up with Great Sacred Music on our stmartins.digital channel and also on our Facebook page. It goes live 24 hours after Great Sacred Music, so every Friday at 1 o'clock. And do also join us if you're in London for Choral Classics, and a half-hour sequence of words and music every Sunday at 3:15, introduced each week by a different member of St Martin's Voices. So to finish today's Great Sacred Music on the theme of love, looking forward to Valentine's Day, something a little bit different. You Are the New Day, John David's hit song from the 1970s, which is an arrangement for unaccompanied choir which was made for the King's Singers by Peter Knight, which was released on the King's Singers LP New Day in 1980. Thanks for joining us.